Tyler the Creator, Chromakopia, now one of the biggest selling first weeks of the year anywhere, which is crazy considering the album dropped on a Monday. The views for the videos have been nuts, and it's about time I went back and did a tier list. Just gonna go through track by track, put them in. You know how a tier list works, you don't need me to explain. Let's get on with it. Chromakopia, tier first tracks in Chroma. How many times have you listened to the album, by the way? I think it's a really good intro. I like the way that it builds. It feels like an introduction to an album, but not just to an album. It feels like an introduction to a world, which I think as more videos drop for the album, as we get more invested in live performances, the world that Tyler is building around this album will just become more clear. And I think it's a great intro. I love the way from the video itself that dropped before the album did, when it switches to color. The beat kicks in heavy. Daniel Caesar, who we all thought was Frank, well, we didn't all think, a lot of us thought it was Frank Ocean at first, does great on the track, but is it something that you'd necessarily listen to again? It doesn't really exist as a song on its own. I think it's a B for me on St. Chroma. Cool intro, but not a standout track from the album, and it's just one that you're kind of waiting to get through until the album properly starts. I want to reserve S tier songs when I do these tier lists for the absolute creme de la creme, rare breed, you don't get many in a year type of shit for S tier.
She ain't never met no one who talk like that.
Now, I've heard some people talk down on this song.
Nigga, bitch, I call right back. Roll my windows up, rolling windows up. Biscuit ass niggas wonder how I got my jiffy up. Crib so damn big, I need a diaper and a sippy cup.
I'm actually pausing it because I'm going to repeat what Greg says in the chat. D to A tier is a linear progression, while the jump from A to S tier is exponential. I couldn't have put it any better myself. So that's got to go in the video, Greg. Is exactly how I'm feeling about this. Yeah, I fucking love this song, man. I heard some people talking shit on this song.
When I double park the laugh, that Ratatata, bitch, I'm stepping on the gas. She ain't never met no one who talk like that. And if you hang up on a nigga, bitch, I call right back. Wait, that's to the grin, bitch, I'm really him. You better put them palms together, bitch, I really sing.
Ratatata. I've called it Ratatata until this moment. It's just Ratata. What I like about this track is just a fucking hard rap track that's done in a style that other people could replicate the beat, other people could replicate the flow, but I don't think there's any artist out there that can actually replicate the whole sound. That is a pure Tyler the Creator sound. It's not as good, but it's reminiscent of New Magic 1 from Igor. It's reminiscent sometimes of his older music without the lyrics when it gets too extreme. But I don't think it's his finest example of one of those tracks across his discography. So for me, again, it might sound a bit harsh, but I'm going to go B again for Ratata, or Ratatata as I call it. So yeah, B for me on Ratata. Like, if you go and watch my initial reaction to this album, it's pretty much all intents, really liking it all the way through. I'm super aware from doing this for so many years, and just from listening, we all know, like, the first reaction to music is really important, it's really powerful, but it's not the be all and end all. We all know that music can grow on us over time, but the opposite can happen as well. If you get an intense tune like that, you're listening with 5,000 people in a live stream, fucking, that's a moment. And then you go and listen to it again like 6-7 more times and you go, yeah, it was cool, but it's not really got the same sort of thing for me. Let's move into Noid. Let's listen to a bit of Noid.
Things feel out of order. Look around, I'm not sure. Paranoia.
I do like this song a lot. I really do. I love the guitar. It is sounding good, man. It is sounding good.
I can't even buy a home in private. Home invasions got my brothers dying. Notice every car that's driving by. I think my neighbors want me dead. I got a cannon underneath the bed. Triple checking if I lock the door. I know every creek that's in the floor. Motherfucker, I'm paranoid. I move around the block.
The time signature is crazy as well. Yeah, I think this is a special song. It's the most streamed song on Spotify. Spam your letters in the chat, please, just so we can get a general idea. I've got my idea now. I'm not going to be swayed. And then I'll talk about the song. The variety on this song, the instrumentation on this song, the arrangement on this song is so uniquely him that nobody else can do it. And I think this exists. Noid exists as a really great, complicated, interesting, sort of thought-provoking, sonically thought-provoking song. Lyrically, it's okay. talking about Paranoid. I mean, we've heard songs about this before. I don't think it breaks new ground there. But sonically, I just think it's a really adventurous track. I love the guitar sample. I would actually like a bit more punch from the drums myself, but you know I'm a drum guy. The guitar sample and how it comes in late in the bar every single time. It's still, I've heard it so many times now, and it still throws me off when it comes in. Obviously, the second half of the track as well goes into this like beautiful like, keys and soaring. He's got some singing in there, but the earlier part of the track where he's rapping, it's a real contrast. I think it's one of the most complete songs on the album. I think it just gets better on every single listen. So for me, Noid is going into A tier.
Whatever you do.
So I like this song a lot, by the way.
I keep falling in love, darling. I keep falling in love. Keep falling in love. Forever's the wrong. Come on. Beaming in the summer when I'm ready to drift. LaFerrari handle better and it's pretty as shit. Feel safe in the road, big boy when I drive. Love them all for different reasons at the same damn time. See monogamy.
Yeah, I love the drop it like it's hot little clicks in there as well. Listen, the fact we had to do the whole thing there. Everything about this song I like. Now, lyrically, do I connect with it? Do I relate to it? No, obviously, a very different place in my life. There are songs later on which I do connect with, which I'll speak about as we get further along in the video and further along in the tier list. But it's interesting, this is the first song on the album really where we start exploring the idea of Tyler growing up. Now, he's quite old to be having some of these thoughts, honestly, but I think he's of a generation where adulthood and these sorts of things are happening a bit later, and I'd say I'm probably the generation after him, or before him, however it works. Our adulthood came a little bit later than the one before that, and that's just how life goes, right? Obviously, he's in a completely unique position as a massively famous artist as well, and all sorts of stuff with his sexuality and all sorts of things. So there's all sorts of shit going on there. You know, I appreciate the fact he's expressing himself, but honestly, mostly with this album, I'm focusing more on the sonics. What's interesting is when Tyler spoke about his favorite parts of the album, if you go and read that tweet. Right, my favorite moments are Chromakopia, and it's all about music. It's not about lyrics, which is interesting. And I think if you're the person that's arranging the songs, producing everything, to be honest, you're probably at quite a distance from the lyrics by the time you get to finish the thing. Especially as somebody who's probably noodling and fiddling the whole time until the last minute on exact tiny little things. So let's read through some of it. At 154 of St. Chroma, that siren and low end together feels like a blast wave after an explosion. The 20,000 on me part of Ratatata. The delivery is from a dumb joke of mine, but I couldn't get out of my head. Why not record it? The bridge of Darling I is just, yeah. Second post-hook section of Noid. Willow's harmonies and Thundercat bass feels ethereal. Yeah. I mean, I won't go further into the tweet right now because I don't want it to then start like colouring my thoughts of the rest of the record, even though I have read this. But me being me, I've forgotten everything that he said. But what's really interesting is that he is so focused on the sonics and the minutiae of the sonics, as opposed to the lyrics. And I found that fascinating. And that made me go, do you know what? He's got a lot to say lyrically on this album, but this album is about the fucking sounds. And so much of Tyler's music. It is about lyrics, it is about themes, it is about expressing himself, absolutely. I'm not trying to divorce it from that, but it is about the sounds. So Darling I, focusing on the sounds, I think, genuinely, it's an A song. It's an A song. This is a really intense song.
Hey T, we got the news and I forgot how to breathe. In the panic, you was comforting me. Damn, what do we do? What are the odds? Is this really true? If it was bound to happen to me, I'm lucky it's you. Hey T, your legs long and your waist thin, and we could both relate to the fact we got great skin.
It's a really interesting track, right? Obviously, it goes into depth about this situation that he got himself in and whether or not him and this girl are going to keep the baby. There's all sorts of stuff going on that ties into songs later on in the album as well, in terms of this sort of through line storytelling of the album. There's some theories out there, there's some explanations in there. Some people agree, some people disagree, but there's definitely through lines. But I wouldn't say the whole album is just a straight story, as far as I'm concerned. And it, you know, it's quite a hot topic. It is. I appreciate him just being open, honest, and raw on the record. But it's not my favorite track on multiple listens. It's one of those ones because of the storytelling aspect, how well he wraps the story. On first few listens, it was really impactful. But as I go through, Sonically, it doesn't appeal to me as much as some of the other songs on the album. Yeah, it's a funny one for me. I know it's some people's favourite track, but it's not something that I can see in the future as I go through this album. It'd be one that I skip, even though it's a well-constructed track with a good concept. I do love the bass in it. You know, I'm a sucker for great bass. But for me, it's BC for me, guys. It's BC for me. I think it's a central song to the album. And because of that, I will give it, controversial. I'll put it in B. Some people saying C for you as well. Definitely an S in your eyes. Isn't that lovely? Like, that's fantastic though, isn't it? This is what it should be about, that we can actually sort of openly have these discussions about music as well. And there's all the good things about doing it live, is that when you put a review out there, for example, and it's like, this is what I think of the thing, and it's just actually a snapshot in time, and there's no chance for interaction, there's no chance for nuance. So there. I'm putting it in B, but it is hovering between the two, and in the future I can see it slipping down to C for me and being a skip.
Your new hot comb go round and round. Your new blowout go round and round. The 3-6
I always forget it starts like this because it comes in so hard.
Go round and round. I gotta work, I gotta eat. If they see you on top of me, I gotta leave, bitch, I killed you. Your natural state is threatening to the point that I point at myself and self-esteem, bitch, I killed you.
Super interesting track. What's crazy about the track is that immediately after such an intense song about whether or not you're gonna keep a baby in Hey Jane, it immediately comes in with I killed you. And you're like, whoa, what did you just say? But actually the song's not about that. It nudges towards that. It definitely deliberately plays on your emotions and with a little bit of shock value with that. But this is something I didn't catch at all on the first listen when we were listening with thousands of people in the room, that this is a lot about hair. It's a lot about, black people's hair. It's very specific references in there, which I didn't catch at all on first listen. I'm not going to pretend like I did. Obviously not a subject that I can relate to specifically. There's a lot of allegory, there's a lot of subtlety, there's a lot of symbolism in here. When it combines the stuff about hair, the stuff about him growing older, the stuff about the previous track as well, it's all combined. And it has some interesting stuff going on sonically as well. I really do like the crazy horns that come in. It's kind of a frantic song. It's not a song that I necessarily take out of the album and put on a separate playlist. I think it is very much part of the piece. I can't put it all the way up into A, I don't think. But it's definitely something that I really appreciate as kind of like from an artistic point of view on the album. And someone in the chat said that it's underrated. So with I Killed You, I'm going to put it into B. Interested to know your thoughts on that one. It's a B for me. So we've got a good, very solid record so far. Judge Judy. Now I didn't get, when we listened to this live on the first listen, I didn't catch like what the song was about. We were all too worried about whether Frank Ocean was on the fucking album.
I met this girl named Judy at the cafe around my way. Her breasts
definitely an earworm, this song.
She had curls that hit her face. Her legs were Eiffel Tower. I could tell her daddy black. Peanut butter jelly toasted in a lap.
Yeah, this one's actually grown on me. I wasn't sure at the time.
Do this, but she think that I'm sweet, so I won't judge Judy.
I mean, it's a weird one because it was clearly born originally out of a pun, Judge Judy, So that's always a bit weird when you have like a silly idea for a name and then you build a whole song around it, whether or not the story is true or not. But obviously in the second part of the song, we get the twist. It's the letter from her and about, she's going to die, basically. And she has died if you're reading this letter, which changes the concept of the song, but it's a strange one. It's a strange one.
End up at my home, we dance around and make some sweets. We started swapping spitting and she got on top of me.
This bit's fucking fantastic. Well, apart from the second sounds. I don't know, I don't know about this song. I think the chorus becomes an earworm, but that's not necessarily a good thing because there's been no bigger earworm in the last 4 to 6 weeks than fucking KSI. Sorry for even bringing it up because I'd imagine I'll just put the hook in so many of your brain just from bringing it up. Now, I'm not comparing the songs. Don't get me wrong. But I don't like the chorus. I didn't on first listen. It's based around a pun. Sure, the story is true. Maybe the girl was called Judy. But there are parts of the sonics that I really like. I like the sort of shaker sound in there. The ba-da-da. I like that. Just subtly in the background. It sounded like Sesame Street when I just did it then. This song has a twist. It's almost Shyamalan-esque. It has a twist. And I didn't catch it on first listen because too much was going on, but I did on second listen and I was like, oh fuck. But because the twist has that kind of impact the first time that you hear it. I don't think it necessarily works. And it's just almost like you're just waiting to listen to it again, to hear the twist, to go back. You know, it just kind of, it's like a sort of momentary impact song with a pun title and with a chorus that I kind of find irritating. So I hated it for a period. I really didn't like it. Now I tolerate it. But again, this will be definitely close to a skip. Although I tell you what am I singing in my head? After I've listened to Chromakopia, I'm fucking singing this. It's a C for me. Judge Judy, it's a C for me.
Poppin' that shit, get
D?
your hit quick fast. Niggas popping off.
The beginning is hell on
the gas. Pop that shit.
Am I gonna make this into a YouTube video? Yes.
Who the fuck you talking to, ho?
Hey.
I ain't the one. It's getting sticky. Bitches getting sticky. Bro is getting
I kind of have to get through this bit to really enjoy the song. Like, I don't like this beginning. It's like deliberately irritating. I mean, a minute of that is a lot. But then it kicks in.
Niggas want that motion, I be getting cooked. Sneaking lean.
Tipsy type beat, grinding type beat. Fucking all the features are fire. The whistle's crazy. Bass. Howling.
Where they at? It's getting
Bambi says Sticky is an S for me because it reminds me of school bands, aka HBCU, and lunch freestyle in black community. Like, I mean, obviously not something that I experienced myself in either case, but something that I've seen plenty of across TV, media, film over the years. So yeah, and I can definitely hear that in this track. I think the first minute is rough. You have to get through that first fucking minute, but then when it hits, it's cool. Wheezy comes in, fucking everyone's there. All the features out on title on this one, yeah.
Sexy in this bitch, taller in this bitch, we punch this fuck. Bitches mad, but can't be my asshole. Run it up. I don't fight for my respect, bitch, I fight for dick.
Did she say, I don't fight for respect, I fight for dick? I mean, that is a fucking wild lyric. 2024, man. What a world.
Sticky situation, discombobulation. Caught me red-handed, palms itching like
Wayne's pocket on this beat.
Like ovation, on business occupation, dripping condensation, got a whisper conversations.
Yeah, by the end of the song, I'm just into it. That's why I replayed it on the original reaction.
Yeah, bitch, I'm outside with it. Tell them niggas I did it. Allergies to bum niggas. I see you, my eyes itching. This shit regular.
For me, Sticky, A. It was between A and B. The first minute is rough. It's almost like a fucking ritual, a hazing ritual. You just need to get through it. And you know you're going to get through it, and then you're going to get to the good stuff. Someone said that they wished that had no sexy red. I think that she adds a lot to the song because it's so silly. Her verse is so silly, and it's a silly-ass song. And it just keeps growing and growing and building and dropping back in and taking it away and dropping back in. And by the end, it's fire. Now, the nature of it being an album that's relatively long, these tracks I've heard less than the other tracks because sometimes you put an album, you know how it is, you put an album on for the beginning, then you get sidetracked by something else and you realize that you've listened to the first half of an album, I don't know, 12 times and the second half 6 times. But that's why we're going to listen to the tracks as we do this as well. Beautiful transitions on this album.
Big guns, what you got, huh? Slat, and pop back at the ops, huh? Gang this and you gang that. Don't let them know that you regret how you became that. A good
I hope you find yourself.
I love this part.
I hope you find yourself.
Yeah.
I hope you take your mask off.
Sad story. Yeah. Preacher man, preach. You make these folks think you got something to teach, right like the sun. But you back on that religious shit as soon as you come. Let's talk about it.
I hope you find yourself.
I think it's a great message to this song that's more broadly relatable. Obviously, there are specifics to the storytelling elements of this song, and it changes from verse to verse, right? But the great storytellers, whether it's within music or any other type of media, can take their personal stories, but they make it relatable through the feelings. So something from your own life that you will relate to because you relate to the feelings. You don't necessarily relate to the specifics. You might, and then it becomes even more intense. And that is the art of great storytelling. And I think that's where he fails, actually, in some of the storytelling tracks in earlier, and succeeds so well in the storytelling track here. It's not as specific a story, but I think you understand what I mean. I think musically this song is gorgeous. I think Daniel Caesar and Latoya Williams are gorgeous on this song. And we'll just keep listening to a bit more.
Some people saying S, Kevin saying S, Shalal saying
the
S.
same. Postpartum is long, your identity gone. Mama, your first name, your last one got
Come right
you.
down, I won't
They
go that
dream
far.
about your nest, but you
I won't go
crave
that
flying
far.
alone, man. You would start all over if we keeping it real. Current life is
Imagine
full,
Charlie
but you ain't
Wilson on
feeling
this? Yeah, he'd
fulfilled.
kill it.
Fantasize of
This is one of those songs that just seems to get better on every listen. Even on this listen, it's getting better for me.
nervous, then you know this ain't no service on the hook. Paranoid since 19, nervous system shook. Better sit the fuck down or that
Paranoid since 19, nervous system shook.
$10 million invested,
hits
no
for me, I can't
justifying
lie.
that. Trying to sell them weird ass clothes, nobody buying that.
Beautiful track. It's tough. It's tough. Seriously good, right? Seriously good. That's genuinely, realistically, what's that? Probably the 10th, 11th time that I've listened to that track. I don't know. And it's just getting better on every single listen. It really is. Storytelling wise, subject matter wise, delivery wise, arrangement wise. I love that. I just love the like the Take Your Mask Off as well is just something that, you know, is so relatable for so many people, because you can just take that and it can mean so many different things. And so many people struggle with that. So many people put on masks in life for nefarious reasons, but so many people, and I think particularly people who would enjoy videos like mine, we put masks on for to try and, like, I don't know, exist and function in ways, and it actually just we hide our true selves, and you don't necessarily realize that you're doing it for a long period of time, and then you realize, and it's terrifying to potentially take that mask off and show your true self. And your true self is very, 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 very similar to the masked self. It's not like I'm going to take my mask off and I'm a completely fucking different dude and I've got these opinions and this is actually what I'm actually like. No. We're talking about very subtle differences in how we hide ourselves. You can hear it in how someone speaks sometimes. I fall back into it sometimes. The person that I was when I was a teenager, when I was being bullied, it's very easy for me to fall back into that. Shy, the shoulders come in. I've spoken about this before. The voice tightens up. I don't express myself. I don't allow my thoughts to actually be out there because of the potential ramifications. Because when I was younger, like, it was dangerous for me to be myself. It was vicious every day for years. So I think, yeah, because of that and that little soliloquy that I've just gone on because of that song, I'm going to have to put it into S. Yeah, I love this sample. It's an often used sample in different songs.
Think I'm getting old and I need a grandchild, please. You know?
These jet black strands are turning gray. I'm gaining weight, I'd rather rest the thought of children.
Yeah, it's a weird one because obviously, like, the singing is bad on this track, but it's emotive and authentic.
But don't you wait on me, I'll be fine.
This is a really, really, really special song, I think. I don't mind somebody not being a great singer if you can hear the authenticity in the voice, the rawness in the voice.
Yeah. What's gotten into me? Now that ain't energy, that version of T that you knew was a memory. Who was that? You niggas get too attached to hear it, fear it, face clear, few wrinkles on my spirit. Now cousin, this ain't no terror. I don't like kisses, I'd rather be flooding. Thought this shit out, I'd hop out with that.
Second half of the album might be better than the first
version
half.
of me that I'm coming. Yeah.
Subject matter of the song is great as well. It's always interesting to hear. It really just sounds like the centerpiece of the album. I mean, some people would talk about the baby stuff as being the centerpiece of the album, but I honestly think it's just an album about a man growing up and realizing that adulthood is very, very much here. Early 30s now. This isn't somebody crossing from 20 to 21. This is like, okay, I've had a decade plus of being an adult. Okay, people around me having children. All this sort of stuff, you know. I am older than Tyler, and also I had my first kid at 28, so I've never been able to necessarily relate to the feeling of moving past that stage of adulthood and still not doing the stuff that other adults seem to be doing. I was probably one of the other adults doing that stuff, but it's always interesting to hear that perspective because I got friends who would be more in that perspective. And I think there's a realness, a rawness, and an openness to this track that truly feels like the mask has been taken off, and perhaps this is the moment where he talks about taking your mask off on track 9, and then the rest of the album feels that much more raw. Even though you could argue that a track like Hey Jane, a track like Judge Judy are a bit more raw and open. I sense the authenticity in that song from Tyler more than perhaps any other song on the album and before that. For that reason, do you know what? Based on what I'm saying now and how this is making me feel now, a lot of this shit is just in the moment for me. So I'm going to put it in S as well.
It's more to life than just fucking working, bro.
Okay, bitch, I've been trapped in a zoo. Nigga got packs like the crack of a tooth. I need some space like the back of a coupe. I'm trying to magic wand, I'm trying to proof, so.
Get love in the hood, but I must leave. Born way in the hills where they can't see. Swear I burned 20 M 2018. Like I played for the Bills going no D. Niggas tend to get rich and they act weird. How you walking at the party with your butt pierced? Should I rather play golf to the check clear? Niggas turn 35, now they out here.
A little slidey 808s drill style comes in there for no reason. It's cool.
I don't wanna be found. I don't wanna be down. I don't wanna be found. With that shit, you can't feel me. Tokyo one trick, go, I'm Billy. Shout out Papa, he for real. Don't test V, he pop for real.
I think it loses its way a little bit towards the end here.
I try to be out the way. I like the fun with the lane. I like to treat in my space.
The sort of end of that song is designed to transition into the next song. I think Q's verse is fantastic. Santiago sounds good on the track as well. I like the fact that from a this is an opinion, but from like a psychological point of view, the part of his personality that is the masked on part, the part that is brash, the part that is defiant, doesn't give a fuck, maybe will not take into consideration other people's feelings or even his true self's feelings. That is the person that other parts of him believe that without this masked on character, which is the same essence that brought us Goblin and things. There's a part of Tyler, I believe, that doesn't believe, this is might complicate the way I'm saying this, that doesn't believe he could have got where he got to without that. But as the mask comes off, he's realizing that he can, one, call on that energy at any time and use it for the power of good. And, you know, that's being defined, being strong, being himself. But it doesn't need to take over. It doesn't need to put the mask on and that part take over and be in control. So I'm going to drop a B on Thought I Was Dead. But I'm interested to know your thoughts in chat. There's B's, there's A's. It's a hoverer. It's definitely a hoverer. But I'm going to go B because I do think it loses its way in the back section of the track. But I think conceptually it's a very interesting song, even if it's not deliberately done so.
She said that I make expressions like...
Yeah, this one kind of fucks me up, I can't lie.
My legs to my shoulders and my chin. An affection.
That pause is like, it's almost so long that like...
How could I ever miss something that I never had? I would never judge you.
Listen, it's a beautiful song. Again, talk about the authenticity in the singing. And honestly, very, very, very much relate to the subject matter of this song. I've never met my own biological father either, so it's intense for me. It's a crazy... This bit's fucking great too. It's an amazing song, but it's not necessarily something that I personally would want to listen to all the time, just because it's a bit too intense for me and I'm just trying to chill. But I think it's a great track. I don't think it's as musically strong as some of the tracks on the album, but probably made for me. Let me know your thoughts. I love this fucking like light kind of 80s jumpy bounce.
Why I hate small talk, I like topics, house shopping. I'm a pig, I love copping. No BBLs, I like A cups.
Don't see mirror from Mr. Rap, that's a shout, you know. That's actually a shout.
Make my wanna race up, everything real here, no lace front.
Doichi kills it on their song. It's a funny verse. Her album is fantastic, by the way. If you're wanting to see my reaction to that album, it is on the Patreon. I've actually put them on the collection, the exclusive stuff that's on there that isn't on the channel. So it's worth going to check out if you ever wanted to support the... if it's the best way to support the channel. Balloon, for me, I'm going to go A. It is there for me. It hovers between the two, but I'm going to go A because I just get cheered up so much when that little, the little sort of synthy hook comes in. Okay, final track. I love the message of this track. The lazy like, bounce to those synths. It's like a fucking rubber band. Boing, 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 boing.
I'm slipping, I need a hand. Can you squeeze the man? My shit spinning and spinning and spinning like a ceiling fan. No alcohol, no pill in hand. My only vice is them sweets and the moves I spin. You better calm that down. They ain't even send me the collection of wear. I'm so embarrassed, but happy that it happened. Fuck what you heard.
That school structure is beautiful. Yeah, well said.
Some corn from you niggas who ain't papping. Haters.
Yeah, I was just really reinvesting with the song just now.
You never moonwalking my Chuck Taylors. Brody, you niggas is jabronis. I'm from the city where they ran up in Saconis. 31-0 shit thirsty. Bitch sued for a meal trying to work me. Settled at a mill cause that million couldn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me. Now it ain't hurt shit. Sent the motherfucking wire, did a backflip.
Beautiful outro. And then it comes back in, kind of on a full circle. So you can listen to the whole thing again.
There's no words right now how I feel. Do your thing. Just keep shining.
It's like lazy on the fucking beat. Yeah, I was hovering between B and A, but I think I know where I'm gonna land it. I think I know where I'm gonna land here. And then the full circle moment. Yeah, I think it's a beautiful outro. I think it really brings the project home. Obviously, I think that final track, I Hope You Find Your Way Home, is going. It was a B up until that breakdown towards the end, and it's going into A for me. I just think I love the message of that track because it is a message of hope. It is a message to himself. It's a message to the people that he's spoken about within the project. It's a message to his listeners. It's just a message to everybody. And it's a fairly simple message, but it's true. This is an album about authenticity, true authenticity. It's an album about sitting and truly being and existing within the self, within the spirit. In order to do that, you have to move the parts that are not controlling you, but the parts that are jumping in the way, that think that they're helping you. The parts that are protectors within your psyche, that are there to jump in front and protect their exile. This is like I said, this is a specific realm of psychology called IFS, internal family systems. Traumatized parts of your psychology get frozen in time as children, and then other parts of your psychology or your psyche become protectors and they jump in front. But sometimes they get a little bit overzealous, let's say, and also they don't understand how old that you currently are. It's strange to find your way home with that lens, with that frame of mind, is to just be the true self, the one that was there, the one that is pure and is kind and is open-hearted and the kind of is completely unbroken and should be completely accepted by other people and yourself. In the context of this album, is truly true authenticity, truly being yourself, true self-acceptance, and I love that track. So I dropped it into an A. I don't think it's an S tier track. Overall, I'd probably give the album an 8 out of 10. I think it's a fantastic record. I don't think it is quite knocking on the door of a 9, just because 9s are like, holy shit, tell everybody that doesn't even like the genre about it. 10s are rare. 10s are super rare. 10s are like every now and then, maybe one every 3 or 4 years type records. I would give an 8 to this record, but we will see where it sits in time. This is on around, this is like a 10 listen tier list, right? But let's see where we are in a 20-30 listen time. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people disagreeing with a lot of this. And also let me know your thoughts on the very long form tier list where we really go into each track. We spent some time with the music. it's different to everybody else's. Listen, it's an unmonetized video for me, but I think it's a much better viewing experience for you. And make sure you're joining us on the live streams as well, because having the interaction with chat, the opinions from chat, the thoughts from chat, just elevates the whole experience. So yeah, if you are new, do subscribe. We should have hit 500,000 by now. So thank you so much, and I'll see you all very soon, all right?